Baiklah, jadi saya akan menjelaskan things about referred pain. So, why does referred pain even happen? What's happened in our nervous system that it's the source of the pain itself is not even detected. How? So, it happened because of the over time infection that happened inside of the tooth. In the pulp, there's an inflammation in the pulp that happened because of cardiogenic bacteria that broken down this hard tissue. There's an infection happening, and it's happened for a long time. It's happened for a long time that it is triggering the nerve in the tooth, in the pulp, to just keep activating, just keep sending all of this sensory that they got from this tooth. A lot of stimulation happening. The nerve, it just get triggered again and again by the sensation, and from the pulp is not going straight to the central nervous system in the brain, but is going to this terminal, this station in the brain stem. So yeah, in the brain stem we have this terminal that called trigeminal nucleus. So it is a terminal that are receiving all of this sensory that come from a facial sensation, come from a trigeminal nerve in here, the branches that goes into the eyes, the sinuses, and the maxillary, and also the jaw and the tooth, the mandibulary one. So when there's an infection happening, for example, it has happened in the mandibulary or in the maxillary, maybe in this tooth, in the lateral incisivus, there is infection happening again and again. The pulp is like get triggered again and again. So this sensory is going to this brain stem, and in those terminal is on the nerve that specifying that they get from these branches. At first it was detected, they know that it's come from this tooth, they know it. That's why it is a symptom from reversible pulpitis, because when it's inflamed, not very like badly, it is, we can still like pointing where's the pain come from, because this brain stem is not inflamed yet. So when the sensation is coming again and again and again, this terminal is inflamed, it's get triggered again and again and again. And so when this triggers just keep coming, our nerve what compensated with spreading the nerve, that's why it's getting like spreading, because they have to make everything is work, because the sensation is just keep coming and they are not big enough to receiving all of this sensation. That's why there is the things that happen in the terminal is spreading or percabangan. And after the spreading happen, there is an inflammation, neurotransmitter that are happen to be like a flooding of this chemical mediator, inflammation mediator, or we could just say neurotransmitter. It's called neurosida. Wait, let me double check it. neuropeptide. I'm sorry, it's neuropeptide. So the main thing that are released when this happened, the classic one is glutamate. It's called glutamate, and there is also neuropeptide, and this is the crucial one that transmissioning the signal, the pain signal to the tooth, from the tooth to the brain. So when this happen, this neurotransmitter is flooding our trigeminal nucleus in the brainstem. So what's happened is the terminal that actually are not the source of the pain that triggered by this infection is actually getting also affected, because there is a flooding or like kebanjiran sinyal kimia dari sini. That's why the terminal that actually are not infected are also feeling this pain because of the spreading and the flooding of the chemical neurotransmitter or chemical inflammation mediator. And also that's why when there is this for example, one specific tooth that are there's a prolonged infection, and it is spreading the pain in some degree. So when it's getting worse, it might spreading into the same branches. For example, if it's happened in maxillary, the pain spreading into the sinuses. You will feel the pain in the sinuses and also in the maxillary. When it's inflamed, even worse, it could get into the terminal, the station that are coming from this mandibulary one or the optic one. So you would feel the overall pain in the trigeminal nerve. That's why when this referred pain happen in the case of irreversible pulpitis that are very bad, we would say what is very bad synonym. Severe condition in irreversible pulpitis can happen because this is the conclusion. Referred pain in the severe case of irreversible pulpitis is happen because there is a spreading and also flooding of chemical neurotransmitter. We could say neuropeptide and also glutamate in the trigeminal nucleus in the brainstem that would sending the signal to the brain. That's why the brain is getting confused, because the overall nerve station, it just get flooded and inflamed, even though the source of the pain is not coming from one specific nerve. That's why the brain cannot really interpreting where is the source of the pain. So because the overall station is just inflamed, the brain perceive all of this pain, the source of the pain, as just the whole branches like that.